So we're just about to come into the starts of the kitchen garden here at Doddington Hall. This is where I work. This would have been the original position of the kitchen garden, which is quite unusual because it's actually very close to the house, so it's actually, you would have been able to see it out of the more grand side of the house as well. It's not on the servants' quarters side. It's a really special place and I feel very lucky that I get to sort of look after it, and this is where I get to work. It covers a total of 2.5 acres front to back. We've got about an acre under cultivation out here, and then we've also got a polytunnel and a greenhouse that I manage as well. When I last looked, I think I had 96 different varieties of produce, which was then broken down into sort of 45 like subcategories. Everything that we produce in here goes to both our farm shops and restaurants on site. We're getting busy now, starting to plant stuff out, and it won't be long before it's a hive of activity out here, and there'll be no rest. This is our potting shed, so this is where the gardeners all sort of pile in sort of a couple of times a day. We all come in for a cup of tea, slice of cake, and then go back out and get muddy again. We do a lot of planning for the kitchen garden, so sort of during the winter time, sort of over Christmas, I sort of hunker down with the seed catalogues and review sort of what worked really well last year, what didn't work so well, what we had way too much of, what we didn't have enough of, all those type of things. This is how the kitchen garden is created, really. This is everything that I sort of come to on a daily basis. The main thing that I sort of have in here is our quantities list. So this highlights all of the different crops that we've got, and then it highlights what variety they are, so obviously we can keep a track on our seed order. It also then goes into how many plants on a string line I need, and then in total how many plants. It takes a lot of time and a lot of tea as well to sort of do, and it means that we know how much is coming out of the kitchen garden and what's going into the kitchen garden as well, so it's quite exciting, really. We had 4.5 tonne of produce come out of the kitchen garden. That's quite a lot. It takes a lot of effort, and when you sort of look at just how much it is, it's no surprise we don't need the gym. So what we're doing here is we are getting set up for planting out our brassica crops. So everything in the kitchen garden is planted on a string line into a tape measure. It just means that we keep a nice straight edge. Everything is spaced properly as well. So when it comes to our brassicas, we're going to do it all at 50 centimetres apart. These are a Cavolo Nero kale, and the variety is Black Magic. So we sowed these in February, potted them on probably beginning of March, and now they're going out at the end of April. Fantastic little roots. So when we plant out our brassicas, we do them sort of on a bit of a zigzag pattern, so you can sort of see they're staggered apart. The reason we do that is just because as the plants get bigger, it just means that there's plenty of air movement around the individual plant, which just helps with like pest and disease. But that, coupled with the fact that we're a no-dig garden, all our plants are planted directly into the organic matter, it just means that the roots don't have to work as hard for the nutrients, meaning that they can put the energy into actually growing the plant. So we'll still get a fantastic root system, but we will also get an absolutely amazing crop out of it as well. It's fantastic, I love it. I think everybody should be doing it, and it really works for us here in the kitchen garden. So we're going to grab a couple of crates and we're going to pick some bits for the farm shop and for the chefs. I sent a message through earlier today asking for rhubarb and some of the chard that we've got. From now on in the kitchen garden, this is sort of a daily thing now, is doing harvests for chefs and for the farm shop. So it's a really exciting time in the kitchen garden because it's just changing so rapidly. We're starting to see sort of all that hard work in the greenhouses and polytunnel actually starting to pay off, and it's amazing sort of seeing it all presented in front of the farm shop. That's what I love about it, is I'm really passionate. I've grown up in a household where we've had our own allotment. So since being a little girl, I've always had that connection sort of with the garden and with what I eat. I'm just really passionate that I get to do that now for other people, and that I get to supply an amazing farm shop and I get to work with some really incredible and really talented chefs. It's really rewarding actually seeing those final stages, and getting to prep it all and take it over is really good fun.